Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a show for you guys here today that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let me get into this topic here. I was actually just minding my business, and then I just saw this article. Wasn't looking for it, nothing, right? I was actually like, okay, today we wanted to produce a good amount of shows. So I'm like, okay, let me just, comb through the internet. And then I saw this article. Now, as y'all know, Michael Jordan is widely regarded the greatest player of all time. This is not anything new. Another thing worth mentioning is simply this. There have been some things that people have been saying, which I call hyperbolic language. People are out there literally just talking in hyperbole, saying all type of crazy stuff. Like what? This is the most talented era we've ever seen in the NBA. And somebody in the back will say, but how do you prove that? And then nobody answers. Another thing they'll say is the players today are more athletic than they've ever been. Somebody in the back will say, but how do you prove that? Nobody answers. It's always crickets. But this is what usually happens in this modern day. Everyone wants their era to be the best. And in my personal opinion, I think we need to stop this. We need to stop this. The fact of the matter is this. Every era has its plus and minuses, but there's certain things you cannot dispute. One of those things is simply this. This modern NBA, they don't play defense as much. There's not an emphasis on it. And because there's not an emphasis on it, it's easier for players to score. The primary reasons are this. Number one, because you can't even hand check. You can't even touch guys. Number one. Number two, because of because of the spacing. Now, some people have mentioned, well, you can play zones and all of this stuff. Yeah, you can play zones, but given the way teams are constructed these days, a zone defense is something you can attack then and now. It's not like as if they're running zones now and they never ran zone defenses before. So I don't get that point. It's not like as if they introduced the zone defense 5 years ago and they're like, well, they got the zone now and they can't play with the zone. They weren't playing with the zone before. I don't get that. For the people that call themselves basketball analysts and savants, I don't understand how a lot of people found it complicated when Draymond Green basically made my point in reverse, where he said he was looking at when Draymond Green said that the 2017 Warriors would beat the 98 Bulls, and his point was this: I'm looking at the Bulls playing against the Utah Jazz in the finals, and I'm just looking at the spacing, and I'm like, if you look at the spacing that we're playing with, we would absolutely destroy those boys. So Draymond, if Jordan was scoring 45 points a game when teams were scoring less than 100 points a game back then, what makes you think if he played this Warriors team, he wouldn't be averaging 50 against you? To me, I don't understand, but people thought they were making a point. Let me guess, it's what is it, AOL in the internet? That's what Draymond Green was talking about. Let me get to a point here. So this morning, I saw this article, and it said NBA fans roast former coach, George Karl, who I believe, no, he didn't face Mike. No, I think he faced Michael Jordan in the finals when he was coaching the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and these guys. But anyway, he said this about Michael Jordan. We're getting this from Legion Hoops. It says, Hall of Fame coach George Karl says Michael Jordan would average a 40-point triple-double in today's NBA. Then some people started to respond. One guy says, this is the most asinine thing I have ever heard. These old heads love to say this kind of stuff. No, it's not true. Another person said, and by the way, this new check system, you don't know who's a celebrity and who's not. But anyway, another person said, could he shoot the three like that? Another person said, hell nah. This era may not play as much defense as the past era, but this era of players are more athletic and there is more zone and double team defense. Here we go again with that nonsense. Then another guy said, and LeBron would average a 60-point triple-double in MJ's era. These are the people we dealing with. And then another person said, no, he played against plumbers. It's too much talent. It's too much talent in the league right now. Another person said, he would have less three-point percentage than Austin Reeves. Another person said, MJ literally played in the second most offense-favored era where the zone was illegal, and so ISO play was 90% of the game. He'd be Tatum at best in this current league, which is not even top three. Oh my God, I gotta address these people. Where do we even begin with this? Where do we even begin with this. Somebody used, let me go to his argument. Somebody used the illegal defense argument. You know, the legal defense, which is, I believe, if the opposing player has the ball, maybe in an ISO spot, the one defender has to stay on him. The second defender cannot come to him until he makes his move. Prior to that, the second defender has to stay home. And that's the reason why Michael Jordan was able to score all those points, according to these guys. Jesus Lord. Another guy said that they're just as talented scorers in this NBA. This is how you got to know that you're dealing with people that can't read and write. If there are just as talented scorers in this NBA, and the pace per possession, meaning per 48 minutes, there's about 10 more possessions or so in this current NBA than there was before. And there aren't any traditional centers anymore, that what you call shot blockers, where you can have small forwards literally playing the five. You could literally see a game where LeBron James is playing the five. Imagine that. Jordan trying to score over Dikembe Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal versus trying to score over LeBron James in the post. If that's the case, why aren't any players averaging 40 today if they're so much more talented? Why is that? Why is that? If they're talented players, just as talented, why aren't they averaging 4? Oh, better yet, if they're just as talented scorers in this NBA, why hasn't anybody been able to average 37 points per game since MJ? Where are these talented scorers? Who are they? Who are the talented scorers? Name them. Who are they? There's nobody on the level of Michael Jordan since Michael Jordan. It ain't close. When it comes to scoring, it is a laugh-a-thon. MJ averaged 37 points in a season without barely taking any threes. And as a matter of fact, to stick it to these people, because these people want to talk about old heads. Again, this must be people that cannot read. We must be dealing with illiterates here. People that cannot read and cannot write, because I don't understand where people are getting their points, some of their points from. Let's go to the season where MJ averaged 37 points a game. What season was that? What year was that? Yes, in 1987 season. That year, MJ was averaging 28 shots a game. He was attempting how many threes that season? He attempted, let me get it right, 0.8 3-pointers a game and made 0.1. Michael Jordan scored 37 points a game without taking threes. Here's something to point out to the dweebs in the room. The 1998-1997 Chicago Bulls averaged 14.1 3-point attempts as a team. To put that into context, James Harden, when he averaged 36, he by himself was attempting 12.4, if I'm not mistaken, 3-pointers a game. The league average then was about 12 or 13 when Jordan was playing. The league average today is in the 30s. Teams are attempting more than 33s a game. So there are more points to be scored. Now, if you believe that Michael Jordan could not shoot 35 to 37% on threes in this era, then you're flat out stupid. There's no other way to call it. You ain't silly, you're dumb. I don't know what you would be basing your argument off of. There is a misconception that exists in the current sports landscape today. For whatever reason, people believe that just because NBA players today can dribble the ball better and shoot better, they somehow believe that players in the past are incapable of doing so, that they don't have the requisite talent to do so, forgetting the fact that the only reason it exists today is because they put more of an emphasis on it. To prove that point to you clearly is this. You name me 5 players with the offensive post package of Tim Duncan, who was some who are some really skilled Tim Duncan, who is some really skilled guy, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, you name them. You only got Nikola Jokic, and his basketball game was not bred in the United States. Name them. Why aren't there so many skilled back to the basket players anymore? It's not that players today don't have the skills to do it. It's just that they don't emphasize it. So to say that the greatest player to ever live could not master the three-point shot is stupid. Period. That is the only way to describe it. What some of these people cannot reconcile in their brains is this. They cannot understand why so many people are giving this dude so much props, and they're like, he ain't really that good. Nah, bruh, he is. He's better than your favorite player. He is just the truth. People need to come to terms with that. Stop throwing rocks at the throne. Go look for somebody else to play with. I'm a Kobe guy. I'm not having this silly fight, this stupid fight of, oh, is Kobe better than Jordan? It's a pointless debate because I know I'm going to lose. I'm going to go waste my energy on something else. So to me, these guys, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're if you think that MJ could not average 40 points and maybe a triple-double if he decided to, then you're on something. So wait a minute, let me get it straight. You saying Michael Jordan could not average a triple-double if he chose to is like saying that Russell Westbrook is more capable of averaging a triple-double than Michael Jordan. How ridiculous do you sound? Russell Westbrook, what is it about Russell Westbrook that makes him more capable to average a triple-double than Michael Jordan? What is it? Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double on 30. He could do it, but MJ couldn't? Based on what? You know what? Nothing. The same reason they say people are more athletic. Have y'all ever seen Dr. J? Have you ever seen him jump? Have you ever seen Sean Kemp jump? Have you ever seen Michael Jordan jump? Have you ever seen Kobe Bryant jump? Oh, have you ever seen LeBron? You see, y'all are stupid. Sorry to say it. Have you ever seen LeBron James jump? LeBron is not from this era. LeBron joined the NBA 20 years ago. Did you see LeBron James play? There has been no player that has come through the NBA more athletic than LeBron is more athletic than Kobe. And I'm a Kobe guy. He has more athleticism than him, and he joined the NBA 20 years ago. Name the player today that is more athletic than a young LeBron James. Did you see Blake Griffin? People just be talking. That's all. A bunch of illiterates talking.